We are the most depressed generation of all times, according to research. Did you know that? The numbers on anxiety, mental illness, depression, suicides, it's escalating. It's ridiculous what we're going through. And we live in the most advanced society of all times. What is the problem? Look, scientists and psychologists will give you so many answers for what they think potentially could be the answer to this question. Why are we so depressed? Why are we so disconnected when we have the internet and everything? Why do we not value life as we should? But I think the answer is simpler than most people would provide an answer for. I'm 41 years old. I haven't lived long enough, but I've lived in 3 countries. I help people find purpose in life. I have had thousands of conversations with people about their psychology and what they're feeling. And I think I've figured out what is missing in people's life and why we are so depressed. And there are 4 things, literally 4 things. I've come across this information in many different researches. And this is the solution for a joyful life, for a life with meaning, for a life that is happy. Solution is these 4 things. And they all start with an F: faith, family, friends, and function. Give me 5 minutes. I'll tell you what it is. And if you want to go more in detail, you can join me on my workshop that I'm going to have it really soon. But here's the deal. The happiest people on earth, by many different researchers that I've looked at, Arthur Brooks in Harvard, Mo Goddard with a lot of science, Jonathan Haidt with his book, Anxious Generation, all of that points to these 4 factors. Number 1, faith. The happiest people or the most joyful people on earth, they practice their faith every day. Now, I'm not telling you or inviting you to practice my faith, but you need to find a belief that puts you in a position where life has a bigger meaning than just you. Like, you're not the center of the world, right? We are very small species in this grandiose creation. So you got to find faith in something bigger, something greater than us. If you practice your faith, be it meditation, go to church, pray, whatever you want to do, practice your faith. That gives you a sense of meaning. That gives you a sense of purpose, which is what I do for a living. I help people find purpose anyway. So faith is the number 1, actually. Number 1. A lot of people struggle with the other ones. Some people don't have as many friends. Some people have problematic families. And some people don't really like what they do for work, their function. But everyone can start there. So 25% of your happiness, 25% of your joy in life will come from practicing your faith daily. Then second comes family. I am in awe of how many people spend 60, 70, 80 hours a week at work and give their trash, their rubbish, their garbage of their energy to their families. We go to work early in the morning, come back at night. The kids are in school. We don't spend time together as a family. And the family bonds are the number 1 attachment that we have as human beings. As any sort of animal, we're born to a mother, we have that connection, and we need to keep that connection ready. Now, I'm not saying that if you're 30, 40, 50, you still need to be connected with everyone from your childhood. But what I am saying is you have a nucleus. This is the natural order of things. It starts with your family, your nucleus, then your immediate friends, and then a bigger, wider circle, and then the rest of society, civilization, all right? There's even a research on psychology and sociology called the Dunbar numbers, that people are comfortable in when they're mixed in a certain number of people. They're all multiples of 5. The first 5 is your family, then the 15 to 25 is your close circle, and then close to 50 is your wider circle that you might remember their name, but you're not really sure what they do, where they are. And then there's about 500 that live in the vicinity. You've seen their face, you might not know their name, and you know some of them and some of what they do, but it's not really clear. But we start to get really uncomfortable when it goes over 100 or 150. You can go on your phone. You might have 2,000 contacts, but how many of those do you talk on a weekly basis? Not even a daily basis, but a weekly basis. Do the research. You see, it's no more than 50. And I'm willing to bet if you're a normal person, it's probably less than 20. All right, so that's the Dunbar numbers. It's a funny name anyway. So number 1, faith. 25% of your joy comes from practicing your faith. The other 25 comes from your family. You need to prioritize. You can watch videos about the circle of life, for example, or the wheel of life. The wheel of life is this tool that will help you balance your energy and your efforts and where you input all of this energy and effort, like work, family, friends, activities, hobbies. So you need to do that. So that's 50% of your joy, of your happiness. Faith and family. Then comes friends. I like to say that friends are the family that you get to choose. We didn't get to choose the family we were born in, all right? And some of us are saying, hey, man, to that. But I have an amazing family. I love my family. But the friends that you have, they are the family you get to choose. As a matter of fact, research says that we become an average of the 5 people we hang out the most. So who are your top 5? Who are the top 5 people that you have that you hang out the most? I've always I keep saying this all the time. You need these 5 people in your life. And there's a video you can watch on my channel right here about these 5 people. You need someone that you teach, someone that is teaching you, someone that's going with you, someone that's signing you off, and someone that inspires you. You need that circle. That's your friends. So the joyful, the happy people on earth, they practice their faith, they spend time with their families, and they invest on their friends. Look, I don't talk to many people during the day, but there are certain friends that I send messages almost daily. How you doing? Right now, there's a friend of mine that is in hospital for a simple operation. I called him twice already today just to check on him. So that is friendship, the family that you choose. And last but not least, it comes function. What do you do with your life? There's a video by Mark Mason, so long on my other channel. I recorded a version of that. He says that purpose is simply what you do with the time that you have. What do you do with the time that you have here on earth? And a lot of people confuse purpose with work. They think that because they work as an engineer, their purpose is to be an engineer. and nothing could be further from the truth. Now, some people are lucky enough to have found a function or a work that represents their gifts and their ikigai, their calling. As a matter of fact, that is the title of my book, The Ikigai. Find purpose, find life. The goal of this book, which also turned into a masterclass, and then it turned into a mentorship program. We have this whole program, we call it 3M, the message, the method, and the mentorship. Is to help people find purpose in life so they can do something that they enjoy. Because a lot of people will live their whole lives, and when they get to the end, they look back and they regret. Why? Because they didn't enjoy what they were doing. So my goal is to help you, to help people around the world to enjoy their lives with what they do. I've been doing this for 20 years. I love what I do, and I would love to help you too. There's a workshop coming up really soon, less than 30 days, where you can register to it. It's free, and I'm going to give everything that I know for free. Book, masterclass, everything. I'm going to teach everything in 2 hours, and then if you want to embark on the program, you can make an educated choice to go on if you want to. But that's what we're going to do. So you can just click on the link below and register for that workshop that's coming in less than 30 days. It'll be an honor to have you there. So to bring this to a completion, here's what I wanted to tell you. The happiest people, the most joyful people on earth, they practice these 4 things every single day. You need to put that in your balance. Regardless of everything else that you do, find time to do that. Faith, family, friends, and function. And if you're lucky, you will find work. You'll find a job. You'll find a function, a profession that represents, that mirrors something that you're good at, your ikigai, your calling. And this is what I want to help you with, all right? Don't spend another second going to a work that you hate and you're going to regret at the end of your life. There's an author called Bronnie Ware that wrote a book called The 5 Top Regrets of the Dying. She was researching some palliative patients at the end of their lives, and the number one regret they had when they were asked, what did you regret in life? They said, living a life with no purpose, living a life that somebody else told me that I had to live. When you go to work and you do something you don't enjoy, you're exchanging time for money, and time translates to life, because that's the only thing we all have the same and we don't have control over. So you don't want to spend your time, your life, doing something that is not significant to you. I want to help you do that. So in summary, happy people do 4 things every day: faith, family, friends, and function. I want to help you find a balance in these 4 things. And most importantly, I want to help you start something that relates to what you love, your calling, your purpose in life, so you can find meaning, live a happy life, and you can thank me for that later. All right. Look, if you want to watch something about finding purpose, I really recommend you watch this video. It's a beautiful 10-minute masterclass on how to find your purpose. All right. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next video.